the woman was suddenly gripped by terror. The water in the roadside pond had started to boil for no apparent reason. While she was still trying to make sense of it, several cracks suddenly split open on the road, spreading rapidly all the way to the feet of a traffic cop on duty. In the next second, a sinkhole appeared out of nowhere. Before the officer could react, he fell straight in. But the hole didn't stop there. It kept expanding at an alarming rate, causing the ground around it to collapse. Panic broke out as people screamed and fled in all directions. Seeing this, Lisa slammed on the gas, trying to get away, but the traffic was completely gridlocked, and her car couldn't move. With no other option, she grabbed her children and abandoned the car. But while they were running, her son was knocked to the ground by the frantic crowd. Lisa immediately told her daughter to keep running, then turned back to save her son. But it was already too late. She watched, powerless, as the sinkhole swallowed him whole. Overcome with grief, she stood there and screamed, frozen in place as the ground beneath her feet began to give way. By the time she realized and tried to escape, it was already too late. Just as she was about to fall, a hand grabbed hers. It was her daughter who had turned back to save her. But the girl's strength wasn't enough. She could barely hold on. The sinkhole continued to expand, and Lisa knew that the longer she held on, the greater the danger for her daughter. Not wanting to drag her down, Lisa said goodbye with tears in her eyes and forcefully pulled her hand away. She kept falling, but during the fall, she noticed something strange. There wasn't darkness at the bottom of the pit, but a mysterious green light. She plunged straight toward it, until the light completely engulfed her. When she woke up, she was lying unharmed in a field of grass. Still disoriented, she quickly stood up and looked around. When she glanced up, she saw the same green light floating high above her. But she had no time to think about it now. Her only thought was to find her family. While searching for her son, she came across another survivor named Caesar. As they were talking, a thick plume of smoke suddenly rose into the sky in the distance. Lisa immediately ran toward the source. When she arrived, she found a large group of survivors gathered there. To her immense relief, her son Jack was among them. Mother and son were finally reunited. But just as they were caught up in the joy of the moment, a giant wolf suddenly burst out of the forest. The two turned and ran, but more wolves followed, charging toward the crowd in a frenzy. One by one, survivors were dragged away by the beasts. Jack was knocked to the ground by one of the wolves. At the critical moment, Caesar fired a shot, killing the creature. But Jack was already seriously injured. Without medicine, he wouldn't last long. Determined to save him, Lisa, Caesar, and her daughter set out to find medical supplies. They searched until nightfall, and finally found the medicine they needed in an abandoned ambulance. Just as they were about to leave and return to the camp, a loud roar echoed from deep within the woods. Some new threat was closing in fast.